are diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon. Actually, I'm going to send this to one more person. I sent it to my pastor. Actually, she's not my pastor. She's everybody's pastor. I mean, she's become a very good friend of mine. I'm gaining some really cool friendships, man. Really am. It's nice. It's nice. I'm even working on a friendship of another man who's my age. Actually, he's a little bit younger. But it's always been hard for me to make friends with pretty much anybody, man. Friendship's been hard. Hey, Brent, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Oh, so this is my third live today. So we'll see how many people we get. But we're reading out of Language of the Heart, and it's called Problems Other Than Alcohol, or what they would call goofballs back then. And what would goofballs be? Well, there'd be people with drug problems. Absolutely. And no, this conversation at any point will not be anything like, if you have a drug addiction, stay out of AA, that kind of thing. No. On this one, let's talk about how AA can help other people with other problems to the right places and things like that, right? We have a lot of double dippers. And there's nothing wrong with double dipping at all. Absolutely not. It's quite often I hear people say, I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic and an overeater. I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic and an addict. About the only one people don't bring up is the sex one. But there is a sex addicts 12-step group. Absolutely there is. But I could also understand why people would want to go to AA. It probably feels, maybe it's a preference. And should we help these people? Absolutely, we should. Do I feel like somebody with an addiction problem, or let's call it like fentanyl or something, because there's a lot of things that I didn't try, would somebody else that's recovered from that be more helpful? I would tend to think that they are probably more helpful. I'm not the alpha omega, and so but at the same time, I am a working member of society again, right? So therefore, when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, right, I want the hand of AA to be there for that. I'm responsible. Now that was made for the professionals, but we don't necessarily have to just take it that way, do we? No, we do not. No. So I think this will be a good topic. I've been trying to diversify my topics and stuff. So here we go. Yeah, let's diversify it by reading more of what Bill said. That's not really diversified. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm going to be your host now and for the foreseeable future. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. You're always welcome to come on. It's been a while since I offered that if anybody has a topic, number one, let's say you have a topic you'd like to hear, let me know. I will do what I can to put it on. And or maybe you want to join me live. You're always welcome to do that. So just understand it might feel a little weird because I don't have a format for you or anything, so all right, problems other than alcohol. February 1958. Perhaps there is no suffering more horrible than drug addiction. I have to agree with that. Some of the places, trap houses, gang stalking. Yeah, man. Drug addiction is, I mean, and I'm certainly not going to discount other addictions, but I am grateful that I was not a drug addict. Absolutely. You know, alcohol is one of the only detoxes that can kill you, but that doesn't make it the worst one. It's not. Benzos, man, those are tough. Okay. Especially that kind which is produced by morphine, heroin, and other narcotics. Such drug twists the mind and awful process of the withdrawal racks the sufferer's body. Compared with the addict and his woes, we alcoholics are pikers. Barbiturates carried to extreme can be almost as bad. In AA, we have members who have made great recoveries from both the bottle and the needle. We have also gotten great many others who were or still are victimized by goofballs and even by new tranquilizers. Yeah, it just seems to get more potent. It just seems to get more potent. Consequently, this problem of drug addiction in its several forms lies close to us all. See, the problem is I tend to have an addictive personality to things that make me feel good, right? Ativan, which is an opiate. Maybe it's a barbiturate. I don't know. But it'll give you the feeling of feeling drunk, okay? And every now and then, because of my PTSD, I have to take Ativan every now and again, right? Now I don't have it sitting around, okay? But sometimes I do need Ativan. But anyway, we're getting off topic there. It stirs our deepest interests and sympathy. In the world around us, we see legions of men and women who are trying to cure or to escape their problems by this means. Many AAs, especially those who have suffered these particular addictions, are now asking, what can we do about drugs within our fellowship and without? That's a great question. It's a really good question. And it's making me wonder on whether the grassroots meeting should be a closed meeting. Might be able to help more people, man. Because several projects to help pill and drug takers are already afloat, projects which use AA's 12 steps and in which AA members are active, there has arisen a whole series of questions as to how these efforts, already meeting with not little success, can be rightly related to AA groups and AA as a whole. Specifically, here is a list of questions. Can a non-alcoholic pill or drug addict become an AA member? Can such a person be brought as a visitor to an open meeting to find help and inspiration? Can a pill or drug taker who also has genuine alcoholic history become an AA member? It is a closed meeting, and I'm starting to wonder maybe it should not be a closed meeting. That's what I was saying. I'm just trying to be a little bit more open-minded, what I'm doing. Can AA who have suffered both alcoholism and addiction form themselves into special purpose groups to help other AAs who are having drug trouble? 5, could such a special purpose group call itself an AA group? 6, could such a group also handle non-alcoholic drug users? 7, if so, should these non-alcoholic pill or drug users be led to believe that they have become AA members? 8, is there any objection if AAs who have had dual problems join outside groups such as Addicts Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous? Addicts Anonymous is not around anymore. It's not around anymore. Narcotics Anonymous very much is. There's also a specific kind of drug ones. There's Heroin Anonymous. There's Cocaine Anonymous. So they do get a little bit specific also. And I don't know all the answers to these questions. You know, what does God kind of want me to do? What's the right thing? What's the right thing? What is the right thing for that person? Right? Well, some of these questions almost answer themselves, others do not, but all of them, I think, can readily be resolved to the satisfaction of everyone if we have a good look at AA traditions which apply and another look at our long experience with the special purpose groups in which AAs are active today, both within and without our society. Um, Yeah, hard being an alcoholic and in my cancer journey. Yeah. See, then that's why we should talk about these things. Absolutely. And staying sober. I had a feeling you weren't done. And staying sober and the battle of not using narcotics. I don't have an issue with drug pain meds. I knew where I was at HB would guide me. No, you're not rambling at all. No, I'm I'm not going to take the sorry for rambling because that wasn't rambling. That was a very good point. Yes, it's a very good point. See, I didn't have a problem with pain meds either. I've received pain meds. Right now, I just followed the doctor's direction. I followed the directions on the prescription, and I stuck with that. Right, because my mind does still want alleviation from things. Sure, it does. Right. But if I'm on, if I have that daily reprieve going on, right? Yeah. Okay. Now there are certain things that AA cannot do for anybody, regardless what our several desires or sympathies may be. Our first duty as a society is to ensure our own survival. Therefore, we have to avoid distractions and multi-purpose activity. An AA group as such cannot take on all personal problems of its members, let alone the problems of the whole world. Yeah, we just kind of talked about this in the last one, that AA doesn't solve all your problems. It gets it to a place where we can solve our problems. Right. Um, a lot of you know that I do podcasting, and at one point, I was interviewing those who had lost children to fentanyl, and they were coming on and telling their stories. And I found that I was doing these people a disservice. This is why I stopped. I shut the whole thing down. Okay. I was doing them a disservice by being in a lane that's something I didn't quite understand. And it was my sympathy that I'd done that. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I found out I was not. No. I was just making these people talk about their trauma that they hadn't healed from yet, and that was not very fair of Dion. Sobriety, freedom from alcohol, through the teaching and practice of 12 steps is the sole purpose of the AA group. Groups have repeatedly tried other activities, and they have always failed. It has also been learned that there is no possible way to make non-alcoholics into AA members. We have to confine our membership to alcoholics, and we have to confine our AA groups to a single purpose. If we don't stick to these principles, we shall almost surely collapse. And if we collapse, we cannot help anyone. AA seems to be a landing place, though. There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody that maybe has a problem that goes into an AA group, and that group assists them in getting to the right 12-step group, or helping them find a 12-step group that's good for them. A lot of people would be willing to do that. Okay? I'm just trying to come up with ideas. And if you have experience on it, or even an opinion, please put it up. I don't bring up hard topics so that we don't come to get to the right conclusions. All right. To illustrate, let's review some typical experiences. Years ago, We hope to give AA membership to our families and to certain non-alcoholic friends who have been greatly helpful. They had their problems too, and we wanted them in our fold. Yeah, I kind of do too. Regretfully, we found that this was impossible. They couldn't make straight AA talks, nor, save a few exceptions, could they identify with the new AA members. Hence, they couldn't do continuous 12-step work. Close to us, these good folks were, we had to deny them membership. We could only welcome them at our open meetings. Therefore, I see no way of making non alcoholic addicts into AA members. Experience says loudly that we can admit no exceptions, even though drug users and alcoholics happen to be first cousins of a sort. If we persist in this, I'm afraid it'll be hard on the drug user himself as well as on AA. Yeah, I agree with that. You know, I'm gonna have to pull out my midwife example here. Let me finish um, this sentence. We must accept the fact that no non-alcoholic, whatever his affliction, can be converted into an alcoholic AA member. Yeah. So, and what's the example of a midwife? I'm sure I'm 54. I have a lot of experience, but I've never been pregnant. I've never given birth. I don't. I don't even understand the feelings that you go through. Right. So I would not make a very good midwife. I don't think. I'm just trying to be a little reasonable here. Right. Drug users or other addictions, they talk differently also. You know, when you do a 12-step call, it's about experience. And since alcohol has ruined my life and I allowed it, I have an experience that other people do not have with that. Okay, and that would include a drug user. Right. At the same time, in the opposite, I wouldn't be able to do the same thing for them. Right. Yeah. Because we cannot transmit something we do not have. And if I do not have the experience of drug use or addiction to drug use, right? See? And then there's some people that do. Thank you, Brad. There are some people that may have both sides. Well, why shouldn't they be able to go to NA and help out? Why shouldn't they be able to go to AA and help out? In fact, this person might be of more use than I would. Right? So we can't count that out either. There are some people in the program that have successfully worked both programs. There are some people that are also in Al-Anon or ACA aside from AA, right? Suppose, though, we are approached by a drug addict who nevertheless has a genuine alcoholic history. We already know. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, right? Never says you have to be an alcoholic. So, we could certainly use that. But anyway, there was a time when such a person would be rejected. Many early AAs had the almost comical notion that they were pure alcoholics. Guzzlers only, no other serious problems. When alcoholic ex-cons and drug users first turned up, there was much of pious indignation. What will people think? Chanted the pure alcoholics. Happily, this foolishness has long since evaporated. Yeah, worrying about our reputation is not something that we really should be worried about when it comes to this. Right? Um, but to say that we're pure alcoholics. So here's the thing. I don't know about you, but every time I got a prescription and said, do not drink alcohol on this prescription, I got a little excited. See, now I utilize drugs to enhance my alcohol experience. I tried that. Didn't work. Yeah. It's a little while. Yeah. Said, no, I don't want to double dip. I can barely handle AA. One of the best AAs I know is a man who had been 7 years on the needle before he joined up. But prior to that, he was a terrific alcoholic, and his history proved it. Therefore, he could qualify for AA, and this he certainly did. Since then, he has helped many AAs and some non AAs with their pill and drug troubles. Of course, that is strictly his affair and is no way the business of AA group to which he belongs. In his group, he is a member because, in actual fact, he is an alcoholic, right? So, when we talk about that, we take this out into our lives, right? So the group itself doesn't, but maybe an AA individual member does. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nope. In fact, if somebody is what we would call dually diagnosed or whatever in this situation, maybe finding a sponsor who's been through that was dually diagnosed, and where they're going to find them in AA. So therefore, it very much does apply the way I see it. Such is the sum of what AA cannot do for narcotics addicts or for anybody else. Now then, what can be done? Very effective answers to problems other than freedom from alcohol have always been found through special purpose groups, some of them operating within AA and some on the outside. Our first special purpose group was created way back in 1938. AA needed a World Service office and some literature. It had a service problem and that could not be met by an AA group as such. Therefore, we formed a board of trustees, the Alcoholic Foundation, to look after these matters. Some of the trustees were alcoholics and some were non alcoholics. Obviously, this was not an AA group. Instead, it was a group of AAs and non AAs who devoted themselves to a special task. See, we can still come together as groups and try and help and solve these problems. And it would very much be considered service work. Absolutely, it would be. Because we're trying to become working members of society again, right? And I'm not the kind of person that likes to tell somebody, no, I won't help them. I'd like to think that one way or another, I can take some kind of action to help them. Another example, in 1940, the New York AAs got lonesome and installed themselves in a club. The club had directors and dues paying AA members. For a long time, the club members and directors thought that they were an AA group. Nope. But after a while, it was found that lots of AAs who attended meetings at Old 24th didn't care one hoot for the club as such. Hence, the management of the club, for its social purposes, had to be completely separated from the management of the AA group that came there to hold its meetings. It took years of hassling to prove that you couldn't put an AA group into the club business and make it stick. Everywhere today, club management and their duly paying members are seen as special purpose group, not as AA groups. So let's say I'm running an AA club, okay, or I'm running a club that holds AA meetings. That would be a better way to say it, okay? Maybe I'm on the board of that club, okay? It probably wouldn't be a smart idea for me to be a trusted servant in one of the meetings. No, that might be a conflict of interest. And I'd probably recommend not doing that because people will see it that way. Yeah. The same thing has happened with drying out places and 12-step houses managed by AAs. We never think of these activities as AA groups. They are clearly seen as the functions of interested individuals who are doing helpful and often very valuable jobs. Some years ago, numbers of AAs formed themselves in a retreat groups, having a religious purpose. At first, they wanted to call themselves AA groups of various descriptions, but they soon realized that this could not be done because their groups had dual purpose, both AA and religion. And we can't mix those either. That'd be okay, and that'd be like, you know, starting an AA member that's for Trump supporters or for Kamala supporters only. No, that's kind of a special purpose group, and it is not an AA group, but there may be AA members in it, right? But they don't speak for AA as a whole. No, I'm in a lot of special purpose groups. The detox, that would be considered a special group. At another time, a number of AAs wanted to enter the field of alcohol education. I was one of them. We associate ourselves with some non-alcoholics likewise interested. The non-alcoholics wanted AAs because they needed our experience, philosophy, and general slant. Things were fine until some of us AAs publicly disclosed our membership in the educational group. Right away, the public got the idea that this particular brand of alcoholic education and Alcoholics Anonymous were one and the same thing. It took years to change this impression. But now that this correction has been made, plenty of AA members work with this fine group, and we are glad to do it, that they do it. Okay. So when I'm doing these other things, I'm not really an AA member. I'm a recovered alcoholic who has a solution. I'm carrying the 12th step into my daily activities. All right. There's a lot of people who go through the program, become a recovered alcoholic, and then go to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor. There's a lot of us. And it works really well because they have the experience and the education. But when they're sitting down as a drug and alcohol counselor, they don't say, "Hi, I'm Dion, I'm an alcoholic." No, that's not what happens. Right? Yeah. It's a servant's heart, man. It was thus proven that as individuals, we can carry AA's experience and ideas into any outside field, whatever, provided we guard anonymity and refuse to use the AA name for money raising or publicity purposes. When I go to these meetings at Detox, I am known as an advocate. I am not known as an AA member. No, no, I'm a recovery advocate, or I'm a peer. Right? I'm very sure that these experiences of yesterday can be the basis of resolving today's confusions about the narcotic problem. This problem is new, not anymore, but the AA experience and tradition which can solve it is already old time tested. I think it might sum up like this. Now, I thought we had another page, but we do not. Where was I? Sum up like this. We cannot give AA membership to non-alcoholic narcotic addicts. But like anyone else, they should be able to attend certain open AA meetings, provided, of course, that the groups themselves are willing. There we go. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. That's what, and God forbid we make it simple, right? If you listen to the earlier one. The thing was, the topic was, is AA outdated, and one of the reasons that people complained was that the program was too simple. It was too simple. I'm not trying to cure you. All right. Okay. AA members who are so inclined should be encouraged to band together in groups to deal with sedative and drug problems, but they ought to refrain from calling themselves AA groups, right? And we do have it now. I don't think it was out yet. 1958? Yeah, I'm pretty sure NA was out. But Narcotics Anonymous is a great program, man. It's a fantastic program that works just as well as AA. Yes, it does. Now, if you go read their quote unquote big book, it will read differently. They don't use our first 164 pages. No. They say things different, like abstinence. They in NA, alcohol is considered a drug. There seems to be no reason why several AAs cannot join, if they wish, with a group of straight addicts to solve the alcohol and the drug problem together. But obviously, such a dual group should not insist that it be called an AA group, nor should it use the AA name in its title. Neither should its straight addicts contingent be led to believe that they have become AA members by reason of such an association. Certainly, there's very good reason for interested AAs to join outside groups working on the narcotic problem, provided provided the traditions of anonymity and of no endorsement are respected. In conclusion, I want to say that throughout AA's history, most of our special purpose groups have accomplished very wonderful things. There's a great reason to hope that those AAs who are now working in the grim regions of narcotic addiction will achieve equal success. Absolutely, I hope so. I hope so. Because there's a bad narcotic problem going on right now. Between opiates and fentanyl, okay, I'll tell you what opiates and fentanyl did. It leveled the playing field. See, it used to be that 1 in every 10 people were affected by drugs or alcohol. Now everyone is. Everyone is. There's not a person, you are not going to meet a person out there, even these young kids had an uncle or somebody that died of a fentanyl overdose or an opiate overdose or they had a fentanyl problem or something like that. No. In AA, the group has strict limitations, but the individual has scarcely any at all. Yeah, as long as I didn't go run around, hey, I'm here, I'm here I'm here because I'm in AA, and I'm representing them. I'm representing AA today, right? See, just coming out of my mouth, doesn't it sound very egotistical, like I'm trying to get something? Yeah. Well, what do alcoholics and addicts don't go for when somebody wants something from them? Uh, Remembering to observe the traditions of anonymity and non-endorsement, the AA member can carry AA's message into every troubled area of this very troubled world. So, so there isn't any reason why we shouldn't get along, right? And sure, times have changed, but there again, alcohol and addiction has not changed. It's still the same. It's still very lonely, right? So, all right. Well, I think I've done my job today, which is to help at least one person. I'm sure between all the stuff I've done today, I've helped somebody. So, all right. My wife and I, we're going to go watch Gotham. We're going to spend the afternoon together, go watch Gotham, which they should bring back. I don't know how many people here watch Gotham. It's a cool series, man. They do a really good job. But Bruce Wayne is still young. He's a teenager. But now, if they brought it back now, almost all the actors are still available, and then he could be like Batman. He'd show how he got into Batman. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Brandon, it's always good to see you. I'm glad to see you. I really am. Amber, it was good to have you as always. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And